Yeah, I was clickbaited all day today. I was working on the car, radiator has a big crack in it, so I'm doing that. And I'm seeing these articles and stuff about, oh, Rick, new information, Star reveals new information. And I'm thinking, holy shit, I can't wait to get done. My hands are all greasy and dirty. I don't even want to touch my phone anymore than I gotta, but I'm keeping track of the time so I can pick my daughter up from school, and I'm seeing all these notifications, and I'm like, if Andrew Lincoln has talked about the movies, it's gonna be an epic reveal, or at least some substance. And then I get off, get done working on a car, clean my hands, check the news feed, and it's not Andrew Lincoln. That's not at all. Everyone's thumbnails and images is Andrew Lincoln, but it's Jadis. Jadis. Fucking Jadis. All right, here we go. So Jadis, Andrew Lincoln, Jadis, Rick, and Heath are likely, if they can bring in Heath, that is, likely going to be the three from the TV show that will appear in at least the first movie. Now, we know that there's confirmation that the showrunner, the old showrunner, Scott Gimple, I believe he was the one that confirmed it, that Jadis did in fact trade Heath. She had his RV, his camper, and he's traded to wherever Rick is headed. Now, Rick's story, and I'll get to that in a second because I think it is so interesting how it's just an exact reset. It's just a complete reset of what we already got. And I don't know if that is neat in a way, or because we're going to see the Rick we've come to know and love, the Rick who's changed over the course of, how many years living in this apocalypse, and we're going to literally see him restart his story. Not just because he's in movies, but I'll get to it in a second. It's literally a restart. It's the exact same Rick story that we started with back in 2010. Let's dive right into this, and then I'll get back to that, because that's just my opinion. This is the news update. So this comes from the actress who plays Jadis. Since making the initial announcement about Rick's standalone movie, AMC and Scott Gimple kept quiet, yada yada yada, but it says former series star Pollyanna McIntosh now has a slightly better idea of what to expect and has revealed an update that the actress fans will almost definitely cheer for. Oh, the actress's fans. It appears Jadis does indeed have a future in this universe. In her words, yeah, it's being spoken about by Gimple now, so I can be very clear in assuming we're going to see where Rick is, so she will be there. That's a long-winded way to say, yeah, I hope so. Things are in process right now. It's exciting. I'm not ready to leave her behind. Now, I will interject here and say, it doesn't make any sense to write her out. She's the character that brings Rick there, so if they want to kill her off, if she doesn't have a big role to play in the continuation of Rick's story from this point on, then yes, she can just fade away. Her character can go in a different direction, or she can get killed off. But it makes sense to at least have her bridge the gap in the continuity going from the TV show into the movies. Now, with the TV show taking this big time jump, that is going to leave a lot of flexibility for the writers, or Scott Gimple if he's writing it alone, to fill Rick's story in that gap. And there's no rush, and there's no worry about when to cross the stories over. If you know Rick does not come back for at least 6+ years, then boom, whatever obstacles they're going to put in his way. But it doesn't make sense there's going to be a time skip for Rick. It makes sense that they would showcase, especially for any new people jumping on board to watch this. I mean, there's, kids and people growing up that every year there's always somebody, new and interested in picking up something. So there's always someone going from 13 to 14 or 15 to 16 that's going to be like, I wasn't interested in The Walking Dead, but oh, this looks interesting, so I'll watch this. So it only makes sense that they would at least recap or start from the TV show ending with Rick leaving off in a helicopter, kind of catch some of that up. And I am curious to see how they will kind of kick this off. Will they show a little bit of Rick's story for, like, let's say not a hallucination, but maybe a memory, just a quick run through, like his life flashing before his eyes as he's healing, because he was badly injured, lost a lot of blood, so they could start it where he gets off the helicopter and he's really in and out of it, he's doing really bad, but as he's on an operating table, he's having these flashes of his life. Boom, right there. If they're starting it off, that's a perfectly acceptable way. I can see Hollywood writing some shit like that, or at least they recap some of what we saw on the TV show, and then it will sync up right there where Rick is in this new community. And again, there's got to be obstacles to keep him from leaving to go searching for his group. Now, I don't know if or how big of a story Heath is going to play and Jadis is going to play. If Jadis traded Heath and they do get the actor to reprise his role as that character on the movie side of things, it makes sense that they would incorporate at least what's going on with that community, because that's going to play a big part in keeping him there, or at least slowing him down from leaving and going to find his family. Which, off the top of my head, that doesn't sound all that interesting. It kind of sounds like we're going to see a prisoned version of Rick Grimes, but I'm damn curious to see what direction they take for this. I mean, I'm so damn curious to see what direction they take for this. Now, back to Rick's story, and then, actually, we'll read this last part, and then we'll go back to Rick's story, because it's only a little thing, but I find it so fucking interesting. Anyway, thankfully, that wasn't all that she told the crowds at FanFest San Jose. Pollyanna McIntosh also made, am I saying that right? McIntosh? Made it vaguely clear that Rick's Walking Dead movies will at least start off focused on the mysterious community that the helicopter pilot calls home. There will definitely be more of an understanding of the community so that they came from, and that I'm going to with them. So yes. Did I read that all screwed up, or does that just read funny? There will definitely be more of an understanding of the community that they came from, and that I'm going to with them. So yes. Yeah, that, for me, that reads so weird. But I get what she's trying to say. Yes, they're going to explain to community. And again, I think that's a huge part, and that's an obvious, yeah, they have to, because the community and where he's at, it has to play a big role in what keeps him from returning back to his family. And I will say, and I'm going to go back and touch on what I find so interesting, and I'm definitely curious to see how they write this and what they do with it. But we started Rick's journey back in 2010 on the show in season 1 as this cop who got popped on the job, and then he woke up in a coma, and his life was 28 days later. You know, his ass was flapping in the wind with his little hospital gown. He got up out of there, and he was searching for his family. So now we watched him over 8 seasons, 8.5, let's say 9 seasons. We watch him over all these years, and we watch this character go from someone who was hesitant to kill someone who probably should have died, killing Randall in the barn in season 2, and being told time after time from his best friend that he can't make the tough calls, to finally where we left off with Rick being taken away in a helicopter. This is a leader who has gone through so much and has grown and changed, and in such a way where he is that absolute badass. However, he still has hope in people, and he still sees the good in people, and he wants to unite people, and he wants to find a purpose and grow a community where his family and his kids and yada yada yada, and the other people in his group and their kids can have some sort of normalcy. And then he gets injured. So we had old Rick get injured as a cop, and he's in a hospital bed. Now we get old Rick, and he is injured badly in a hospital bed. If they give him another coma, it's going to be they're going to lay that on a little too thick. I don't know if they can do another coma. But we have the same thing. Rick in a hospital, injured. Rick in a hospital, injured. Rick in a hospital, injured, gets out, zombie apocalypse, and he's looking for his family. Rick in a community, still in a zombie apocalypse, and he's going to want to look for his family. I don't know what's going to stall him for 6 years, and I can't see any way, and I'm not going to buy it if they try to write a way where Rick says, maybe they're better off without me. I swear to God, I will shut it off. As much as I love Rick Grimes, if they try to give us some weak bullshit like that, like Morgan just forgetting about everyone back at The Walking Dead and be like, nah, we're gonna save people here in Fear the Walking Dead. Get the fuck out of here. And the reason why that annoys me so much is now it taints everything we see when I try to rewatch an episode with Morgan. And this happened recently. I had this, urge to rewatch an old episode. It was season 6. Oh yeah, I believe it was the premiere where Morgan is talking to Carol and yada yada yada. And I found myself going, and this is a character, I loved Morgan. Lenny James is an awesome actor. I found myself going, Morgan, it doesn't give a shit. Don't act like you care. Because then when you leave, you're just like, fuck him anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, if they do some shit like that with Rick, I swear to God, I'm going to flip out. I will flip the fuck out. You can't have him making any excuse not to go back to his family. So it has to be something where something keeps him, physically keeps him. That is his main goal. His main goal is to get back to them. And then, by the end of the 6 movies, or the 3 movies that they have planned, when they fill in the time gap, and then on the TV show, they get through the whispers, they get to the Commonwealth storyline, or whatever direction they're headed, and then AMC figures out what they're doing with airing the show on, like the traditional way they do it, the classical way they do it, versus building up this AMC premiere. And that is the big thing, because right now it essentially is an add-on, right? You already have your cable, you already have AMC, you pay a couple bucks and you add this on to watch commercial free. Well, I don't believe that's all they're doing with it. I strongly believe this is the one step, and the next step or the next couple steps is going to lead to its own Netflix. And I want to make that very clear, because it's not there yet. But I strongly believe that is the only direction they should be going, because it doesn't make sense to have that as an add-on. I don't want your add-on. I want its own thing. I want to be like, here's $5 a month, and then I have a sign-in and I have internet. Don't ask me about no cable subscription. That's thinking old. Let's think ahead to the future. And all I want to do is sign in with my account. Here's a couple dollars. I have internet. Boom. I could watch The Walking Dead when it's on. No commercials. I could watch whatever news stuff. I could watch your webisodes. I could watch your tie-ins. I could watch your coming Negan movie or whatever you got going on. It's even with Fear the Walking Dead, if they want to downsize that but still keep it around, maybe they want to move Fear the Walking Dead over. I don't think that makes any sense, because if Fear the Walking Dead is doing bad at ratings, it doesn't make any sense, because there's no incentive. But if they wanted to, for whatever reason, make Fear the Walking Dead 10 episodes instead of airing it traditionally, move it over to the premiere, try to get people signing off for more money. I don't know. Again, it all depends on what they're trying to do with the premiere. I think it should be their own service, not an add-on thing. An add-on thing just doesn't work in so many different ways. But you guys give me your thoughts and opinions. What do you think? Let's listen. Since we have no idea what's coming up, I mean no idea, no hints. We can't go off the comic. I mean, this is uncharted waters, right? We have no clues whatsoever. Well, you got small clues. But what do you guys have for predictions for this new community? We got I believe we got a video coming up where I'm pulling your best theories about Michonne and her backstory. Let's do the same thing, and I think that's going to be about a week. Again, I got stuff coming up in a couple days. I'm going to be away for a while, but in about a week or 2 weeks, we'll pull the Michonne one, or I'll get it out sooner if I can. But let's pull your theories and opinions, because it'd be funny in a year from now to come back to this video and see what's your theories or predictions right now for the community that Rick is going to, and why he can't make it back, and what type of story are they going to tell between Rick, Jadis, and Heath. All right, thoughts and opinions down in that comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn.